How's it going, everyone? It is Andre Williams, and over here we talk stocks and we focus on one thing. Always protect your profits. I also got to put in the disclaimer. I'm not a financial advisor and this isn't financial advice. So just know when you do invest, you're doing it at your own risk. So today we're going to be talking about ChargePoint. You guys already know these are one of my high conviction plays, so I have to give you guys an update. But before we get started, of course, we got to go over the agenda. If you're new to this channel, I just want to let you know we have timestamps down below in the description. But if you are a shareholder or you're considering to take a position, I suggest you watch this full entire video. So the first thing we're going to be going over is the recent press release that came out. This is definitely a big time update for ChargePoint, and of course that's why I'm going to be sharing it with you guys for today. Then the second thing we're going to be talking about is doing a technical analysis, taking a look at the overall price action. When I told you guys to get into ChargePoint and load up heavy when it was in that $19 and $20 range, I'm hoping you had the chance to do so. But of course, many of you are gonna be like, hey, is it gonna be pulling back? What are some areas to look out for? Where's the support? And what are those areas to look out for if it starts getting really bullish? Well, we're gonna be covering that. And then we're gonna be taking a look at the short interest information. We wanna know, what is the overall market sentiment? Is it positive or is it negative for ChargePoint? Are there a lot of short sellers in this play? Well, you know what? We're going to be finding out. And then when all of that is done, I'll be giving you guys my final thoughts. So let's get into it. So we're going to go over the recent update that came out for ChargePoint today. So update 1, EV charging network ChargePoint launches fleet management solutions. ChargePoint Holdings Inc., one of the world's oldest and largest electric vehicle charging networks, on Wednesday unveiled solutions to help fleet operators manage their vehicles as they increasingly switch from fossil fuels to electric batteries. When making that transition, commercial fleet operators are faced with the question of whether they should charge their vehicles in large numbers at depots or separately at drivers' homes. ChargePoint said its platform will combine software with its charging solutions to help recharge light to heavy duty vehicles efficiently across depots en route and at home. It will be available for early access fleet customers in the summer and can be easily configured to meet depot requirements and scale as fleets grow and demand increases, the company said. ChargePoint operates more than 115,000 charging ports globally, mostly in North America, and has previously said it is aiming to increase that to 2.5 million by 2025. The company went public earlier this year by merging with a blank check firm Switchback Energy Acquisition Corp in a deal that valued ChargePoint at $2.4 billion. Shares in ChargePoint were down nearly 2% in pre-market trading. So just taking this news into consideration, this is definitely big in regards to an update. We see that ChargePoint is killing it on the residential side, and the fact that they're really taking strides to make improvements on the commercial fleet operator side, it looks really good. So we already know, as far as the infrastructure plan from Joe Biden, he wants to make sure, hey, he wants a greener economy here. We're going to go hard into the EV sector, and ChargePoint is going to be able to benefit from this, not only on the residential side, but also on the commercial side, especially since a lot of operators are going to be making that switch to fossil fuels to electric batteries. So let's get into the next segment of the video. So we're going to be doing a technical analysis for ChargePoint. Let's see how it performed on the day. So it ended up closing at $31.35, being up 6.67% on the day. On the low, it tested $29, and on the high, it tested $31.51. So the chart that we're actually using is the 1-year daily chart. So we want to see how it's lining up with our indicators. So you can see from the RSI down below, it is definitely getting into that overbought territory, being right there around 68. So do know, if you're going to be paying these current prices for ChargePoint, you're paying quite the premium. Now, if we take a look at our indicators, we can see it's well above the 200-day, it's well above the 21-day EMA, and it's also above the 100-day. So ChargePoint is definitely looking bullish. Like I was saying, if you were able to add ChargePoint back when it was in that $19 range and that $20 range, when I was saying, hey, to load up, you're definitely enjoying some nice gains because it has been on quite the run. But I do see see that, hey, you know what? It needs to cool off a little bit. It is running up, and it does look like it might be testing $32 tomorrow. I won't be surprised if that ends up happening due to the fact that it's looking very strong. But if I was going to get into this position, I'll be looking to get in on a pullback, and I don't want to be paying below $30. So one of the areas that you really keep a close eye on is right here around this $27.50 level, and as well as around anywhere around this $28 level as well. So that's where I'd go in with a starter position if I was just going to be getting into this play. The next level that I'll be looking out for will be right here around $25. That's the next one, and anything going below that, then of course I would be loading the boat up, especially if you believe in the long-term prospects of this stock. Do keep in mind that this bull run continues from ChargePoint. We do have this area here of resistance right here around 32.62. So if we can pass this particular area, then we could easily, and I'm going to say this right now, we could easily get to this next level here going into around 33.87, where I would look forward to seeing a strong move going to 34 and then possibly testing 35. But again, do not chase this stock. It is a growth stock at the end of the day. Comes with a lot of volatility. As you can see, it has its ups and downs. Just wait for the right opportunity, all right? So we're going to take a look at the short interest information for ChargePoint. So let's see. We have the short volume ratio of 9%. This is a big change from what we have seen in the past. So this is really good to see. So what does this look like? So out of 4.4 million shares that were traded, 392,481 of those shares were actually sold short. So definitely this is looking good, and this is taking close from yesterday. Short shares availability is at 650,000, updated 29 minutes ago, and the short borrow free rate is at 10.52%. When we take a look at the short volume ratio, wow. That's all I really have to say. You can see back here on June the 2nd, it was as high as 21.77. Also over here on June the 3rd, you're seeing at 27.15. And now seeing it at 8.81 just shows that a lot of shorts have covered their position. So we should see a lot more healthy price action from ChargePoint. But at the end of the day, I must say, I'm excited to actually see this because, yeah, I used to have a really hard time with the short volume ratio. So overall, as far as for the market sentiment, it is very positive. So for my final thoughts for ChargePoint, it was great to see that we saw a lot of strength inside the stock today. Of course, there was a lot of volatility. We had the Fed meeting and so forth. But at the same time, this big update that they came out with is something that we need to consider here. They're definitely cementing themselves not only in the residential space in regards to charging, but as well as the commercial space. We already know as far as Biden, he has big ambitions for his infrastructure plan, and we know ChargePoint can benefit from this. And the fact of the matter is, if you believe in EV adoption and how fast it's going to be growing from now and going all the way into the future, and I'm talking about 2 years, 5 years, 10 years from now, then ChargePoint should definitely deserve heavy consideration. Hey, I can't tell you guys to go out and buy it. I'm not a financial advisor. And then the next thing I want to go over is the short interest information. It has changed so much. I remember when we were covering ChargePoint not too long ago when I made a video on it, it was dealing with a lot of shorts. The short volume ratio was fairly high, being above that 21%. But now when we take a look at ChargePoint, it is now down to the single digits. So what does this mean? Of course, the market sentiment is very positive for ChargePoint, and this is something that we were definitely looking forward to. Like I said, if you got into this play when I told you to load heavy, when it was in the $20 range, hey, you are enjoying a nice run up. I know there were a lot of swing traders that watched this channel that had the opportunity to take advantage of this as well. I myself, since I do believe in the long-term prospects of ChargePoint, I do not plan to sell any shares anytime soon. That's just for me. Of course, you could have a different strategy as well. And also do take into consideration, ChargePoint is pretty much the number one, the biggest amount of locations that they have in regards to charging points, their software, deals getting done. Hey, if you are not in this play, I gotta ask you a question. What other charging station play are you probably in? I know I've talked about more than ChargePoint on this channel, but if we're looking at market leaders, ChargePoint is definitely one of them. Hope you guys enjoyed this video, and we'll be talking real soon.